K-means clustering is an iterative algorithm to divide n number of observations into k number of groups. These groups are also known as clusters. This is a very simple algorithm. To begin, we need some data and the number of groups to divide it in. Let's say we have this data and we want to classify it into two groups. So we first take two random values from within our data. Let's call them C1 and C2. C1 we can say it's 16 and C2 we can say any value 22. Okay. We then find the distance between each of the observation and the two centroid points. Let's say we use this formula. We want to take absolute value minus our C1 is 16, so we'll subtract that from this, and there we have the distance. We just have to do this for every observation, and same for this. Okay, so now we put the point in the cluster to which it is closest. Let's see, the distance 1 is smaller than 7, so we put 15 in cluster 1, and if we do the same, we put all of them in cluster 1. These 4 points are same, so we can put them either in cluster 1 or cluster 2, it doesn't matter. So after that we see that all these distances are less, so these points should go in cluster 2. Sorry, here we go. Okay, so now what do we do? After all the observations have been put into clusters, we take the values in each cluster and calculate its mean. So these values are in cluster 1, we take their mean, it's average of 16.8. here if you follow my mouse you can see average 16.8, so we write here 16.8. okay, and all these values are in cluster 2, so we take their average, and that is 38.71, so we go 38.71. okay, so now these two values will act as the new centroids, and we repeat the same procedure. We take absolute and we calculate the distance. Now this time the centroid value is 16.8. okay, do this, and here we go, and for this the same. Okay, so now once again we put them into clusters. Okay, so now you can see that these values belong in cluster 1, and after that all these values are smaller, so we will take them and put them into cluster number 2. okay, so we keep doing that until the mean is equal to the previous centroid value. Let me repeat this iteration for iteration 3. The average of these values comes to be 18.55, and the average of these values come around 45.9. okay, so now we'll take absolute of this value minus 18.55, and here absolute of this value, the observation, minus 45.9, the centroid value. we will do it for every value. Okay, so now if you see, we are going to put them again in clusters. Now all these values, they're coming in cluster 1 because they are smaller, and these values are in cluster 2. So we keep doing that. Let's do it again. It's 19.5 and this comes around 47.88. Okay, now we just have to repeat it. Okay, sorry, these values in cluster 1 and these values in cluster 2. So now you see that these and these, they all point to the same value, right? About here, and these and these all point to the same value, which are from here to here. So now when we calculate mean, it will be same, it will be as much as the previous mean, which is 19.5, and this one is 47.88. Now you can see that these centroids are equal. So we have successfully classified our and observations into two groups. I have also written an article on this topic, and I have written Python code to implement this algorithm. I will link both of them in the description. Thank you.